Why did it crash? I don't know. It's been crashing a lot lately. And if I move away from the screen, it'll crash again. So whoever can come back can come back. And there you go. Hey, Splatter Cat. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know what the heck is wrong with this stupid software that it just keeps crashing like that. I'm sorry for that. I can't control it. Well, we got 3 people that came back, so thank you for not abandoning me. Did it crash because I was boring, or like what happened? I guess if I'm not saying like really radical stuff that they can, get me in trouble with, and they just shut me down. Nah, man, you're loyal. And I wonder if it's the phone or YouTube, but it's got to be my phone. I know that I need a new one. It heats up a lot, and I think when it heats up, it kind of shits the bed, basically, something like that. To be fair, my phone internet has been acting up all day. The sun's probably shooting out CMEs at us. Right. There's where I live, they have air, what do you call it? Like an air quality alert? Air quality alert. Jesus Christ. Since when did we have fucking air quality alerts? Like, the air is bad. Do not go outside today. Stay indoors and get another vaccination. You know what I mean? Fucking shit. Anyway, the sun. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say though. I don't, other than like getting ready for the Arval interview. I don't have a lot on my mind. A lot of my brain power is being pushed into drawing at the moment, just because this type of work is very tedious. I was listening to one of my shows, I don't know, last night or this morning, I don't remember, and watching myself draw, and then after a while I noticed like how hypnotizing it is to watch, not that it's me drawing, but it's somebody drawing, I guess. And I just like, wow, that's neat. That's kind of neat. You know, that experience. I think there's something about watching the brush flow, you know, and how it you know, sort of create things out of thin air, so to speak, you know. It's neat. It's actually quite fun to watch. So yeah, this is just the giant robot trope, you know, getting ready in the factory where he's being upgraded or having, you know, artillery loaded in, and it's kind of that time in the story where you're getting the audience excited about a big battle to come. Check the chat in a second here. See if anybody came back. Other than the most awesome splatter cat. All right, let's see what the chat says. We have 4 people here and 2 people in the chat. Victorian, oh, hey, your stream's back. Yeah, you know, I don't know what happened, but here we are once again. Part of it, though, is I had a little. Well, I have this injury that I've been kind of working through, and been in a lot of pain recently because of it. At the moment, it appears to be getting better, but on top of it, I had kind of a bad day at work too. So it's not. It's just these kind of situations where it's like, when people become the problem, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, here's the solution to the problem. No, I won't do it. Or, you know, it's just weird behaviors of like people that, you know, will fuck everything up for everybody else, you know? And you're like, why the fuck do you have to be like that, you know? So that's work. Them's the breaks. I really should have one of those, like, work from a computer in like, you know, a tropical island kind of jobs, you know? Let's see. Oh, hey, you're streaming. I read. Oh, Slashy to Mr. Fashy. Hey, hey, Matt W is here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. What's going on, buddy? What is going on? Matt W, what other channels do you watch? Like, what other influencers are you into? I'd like to know. Just sort of trying to gauge what other content people who watch me watch. That didn't come out very well. I want to know what kind of content my followers like, is sort of what I'm saying. If you get what I mean. Jelly bean. Alright, we gotta do this. Today is Mechanical Drawing Day. You know what I mean? It's using these templates, and you gotta do it if you're gonna do these sort of like architectural and technology scenes. You gotta use these templates, because drawing shit freehand never works. It just always comes out sloppy, and I mean, I can get away with it sometimes. I can kind of cheat, and I'm good enough with a brush or pen that I can pull off something sometimes, you know. But overall, though, especially in a scene like this, you really want to use those templates. You know. So I'm trying to create the impression of something like a power factory, you know, where like these machines, they sort of power and update the robot, and you know, has that kind of like superhero story type thing. A lot of superhero genre stories always have some kind of like, you know, secret laboratory, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's part of the fun. It's part of the fun of it. And like, how cool can you make it look is really a big part of the dealio. The dealio. So there it is. All right, lovely. And then when the colorist gets in here, he'll do such cool stuff. Schizoid write content lately. Cool. It's interesting how we sometimes we love, like I went Skizo on one of my shows not long ago, and afterwards I was in my chat and being like, shit, man, I really went Skizo, right? I really like. I didn't say Skizo, I forget what I said, but something like went off the chain or some shit, whatever. And one of my followers was like, no, we love the Skizo stuff. I was like, okay. So, but yeah, I mean, if I'm watching, you know, I don't know, Gypsy Crusader or Lucas Gage or something, or Nick Fuentes, yeah, there's something about the Skizo stuff that's like, yeah, damn, man, you know, preach. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, preach it, you know. So, whatever. There it is, and there you go. And now you know. What else? I guess I can kind of move over to this scene here a little bit. I mostly watch politics stuff, some pop culture news. Okay. There was a point in the chat today. I forget who posted it, but basically there's some kind of normie right-wing gym bros show that I don't know. Basically, it's like, you know, noticing a bit too much, if you know what I'm saying. and then did like a lot of research on the hullabaloo, and went like full schizo. Not schizo, but like, full noticer, if you want to put it that way. And whoever posted that was basically saying, they're these sort of like gym bro channels. They seem to really be coming over. You know what I mean? So I'm curious, do you guys see that as well? Do you see that trend? I mean, for me, it was like Jake Shields was a big one. There's others that I don't follow, so I don't know their names, but you see clips of them all the time on like Twitter and stuff, and they're like, they go hard. They go really hard. Like they're like MMA bros and gym bros and like patriots and that kind of dude, you know. And man, when they get angry, they get really freaking angry. These guys don't hold back. And that to me really signified like the Overton window's moving. It's changing. Like, this is our time. Like, shit's really happening, And I know you got your black pill bros out there that'll be like, oh, nothing ever happens, whatever. Yeah. Yes and no, meaning like it's right in front of your face. It is happening. But secondly, it's, you got to kind of like go with it and like push the algorithm, get in there and like encourage these people. You know what I mean? Take those videos and send them to people who fit that demographic and would be, like, wow, if that guy said it, then it must be true, because I'm a gym bro too. I can't think for myself, but these gym bros, they said these things, so I want to be like them. I think you understand what I'm saying. People are very monkey see, monkey do, that whole whatever. So there's a guy that I know who is, I thought he was like a lefty, like a far left dude. He he's into tattoos and stuff, and just with the crowd that I associate him with, I always thought him to be that. But something, I don't remember what happens. Something popped up in social media that like maybe he liked, and I don't know, but it triggered me to ask him like, oh, what do you think about that, or did you know about this? And then I just started like kind of feeling out his political views, and then I push a little, and I push a little more, and I push a little more, and I'm discovering like he's basically ready. Like, he's primed up to be part of the movement. He just doesn't know it yet. Like, he hates all the kind of shit that is going on against whites. He hates the Jew world order. He recognizes, who runs the world, blah, 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 all this various stuff. And so I'm feeding him links and memes and this, that, and the other thing. So that's kind of what you want to do, is you want to find people and cultivate them and help them to escape the farm, escape the plantation. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of our job. You know what I mean? I really hate this character. He's like a real creepy scumbag character. And I designed him after somebody I actually know, who's a super creepy, weirdo, asshole guy that I don't like. He's like a student from one of the kung fu schools that I went to. Just, I kind of feel more sorry for the guy than anything. He's just a chronic weirdo. Like, people in that kind of like far left hippie culture, they take on these identities with all their accoutrements, like, I'm so spiritual, look at my beads, and everything. because they're like walking contradictions. They act as if they know more than everybody else, but the reality is they're way out of touch with themselves, way out of touch with themselves, and I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect or whatever. Nobody's perfect, but to pretend you're perfect is really, really not a good thing to do. And I don't know. I don't want to like criticize the guy, but it's definitely very slimy, though. Slimy. We used to spar quite a bit, actually. Anyway, moving on. What's in the chat? HypocraticO says, I'm Skizzy. Don't remember what the difference. Read. Jord, Hyperborean Knowledge, those sort of YouTube channels. Cool. Schizoid, and schizophrenia are three different things, and they're not even similar. Well, okay. I think of schizo as just a phrase, like a slang term inside the far right about, our guys and a certain type of behavior, and I think you guys already know what that is. But schizoid seems to be a person who has schizophrenia. Am I right about that? Is that correct? Anyway, Victorian, I don't remember what the difference is. Okay. Never heard that before, just thought they were all slang. Okay. Yes, our sphere is growing significantly. 20 years ago, I would have never even imagined how this is happening. That's exciting. That's really exciting. I think it's really cool. I want to be a part of it. Part of my reaching out to Arval for the interview is because I see the energy that he's got right now. Of course, he's connecting with a lot of other people in our sphere, influencers, Nick Fuentes, etc. And I feel like I want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? These guys, things are going on. They're doing things. They're making changes. They're having an impact. And so that's always been my thing. Is I've always been like trying to have an impact. I've had all these ideas and all these plans, and now I kind of see the future. It's like if you're, playing pool, and you can kind of, look at the layout of the table, and if I hit this ball, it'll knock that other ball into place, and then I can set up the next shot. That kind of thing. So that's happening. That's one of the things I'm doing. I have to find a reference, and you guys have to wait. So I'm sorry. Just wait, and don't complain about it. Oh fuck! If I can find it. Okay. All right, I gotta go deep. So, I'm back. All right, this is another page from earlier in the story. There's that robot. He's kind of crashing out here. Let me read some chats. HypocraticO says Zoo Nation Jim Bro Bradley Martin recently interviewed Nick. It's funny seeing Nick with a roids beast. Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's so cool though, right? I mean it's just amazing how these people are seeking Nick out, and they're like, we got to get Nick on the show. It's pretty awesome. Says a lot about Nick's influence. There was Nick did a show. I didn't see the whole thing. I saw a clip of it where he kind of went full schizo, and he was basically saying like, people, I think they're gonna try to kill me. Like there's certain signs right now. Blah 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 blah. Go see the clip yourself. And he's like, this is where this is headed. Like he seems to believe that the Jews want to kill him. I mean, you got 100 different names you can use, but it's all the same. It's all the same. Is it the ADL? Is it Mossad? It's all the same. They're just different fucking packaging for the same group and their interests. So I never saw him so panicked, to be honest. And I mean, it wasn't like I'm afraid and I'm a big baby kind of panic. It was like, I mean, shit, if you knew they were coming for you, And he's like, people need to recognize what I'm putting into this, the sacrifices that I'm making, what I'm going through to tell the truth, just to tell the fucking truth. That we're up against this international, crime syndicate and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't have to paraphrase his talking points. You guys already know what they are, But it was disturbing. It was definitely, what's the word, like sobering or whatever, But yeah, I mean, somebody did come to his house and attempt to shoot him. You guys know about that. Let's read some comments. Matt W. says, lately I'm too paranoid and schizo to really get enthusiastic about the Overton window shift. Why? Because I don't want sheep parroting our JQ talking points to fit in. I don't want to manipulate masses. So if Flash Gorgon were here, he would be right on top of that point, what you just said. He's got a real, I don't know what to even call it, like, he's really, really pissed off at how we've been doing this for years, and then, like, suddenly our talking points become, like, acceptable and popular, and now there's people out there saying these things as if they invented them themselves. And, like, after all the hell we've been through for so long, you get the point. So I don't disagree with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't disagree with you. But we gotta move the movement. We gotta change the world, and it's definitely a good thing that's happening. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Okay. Hello, brother. Richard Williamson's here. Happy to have you, sir. What's going on, Richard? Wanted to ask you, Richard, what other shows do you watch? Like, what are some of the influencers that you like? Just trying to get a sense of what my followers view in their free time. It would be very nice to know. Let's read. I love Nick. Yeah, we're just talking about Nick. I think he's based as hell, big time. He's really come up. Sorry, who sang? Gotta go back. Victorian says, sorry, who sang that he's mad that people are coming along saying they thought of it themselves, ? Because that would be rich coming from Fuentes. I'm not super clear on what you mean by that. Matt says, yeah, well, I'm getting old and I want to enjoy my life and don't need any idiots ruining what's left of it. Ooh, ouch. So I'm hesitant to join any sort of group. Too many honeypots and idiots. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Richard says, I can see Nick being at President of America in the future. I totally can as well. HypocraticO asks Richard, do you like James Maudsley? I don't even know James Maudsley. But you know what? That's the craziness of this whole thing, is that it's just, I don't know why it's not going to make any sense, but Nick Fuentes is going to be the president one day. I know that it's like, how can you say that? Blah, 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 blah. But all I can tell you is that I know in my heart, through my psychic spider senses, that Fuentes is going to be president. And when he is, hell is going to rain down. So I can see why they want to JFK him. You know what I mean? He did say that he is looking into applying for some sort of political role. Somebody had asked him, like, are you ever going to get into politics? And he said, yeah. So it does seem to be a trajectory. I'm Irish. I don't know many Americans. Well, you know me, Richard, and I can tell you guys, Richard is a top-notch guy. It's an absolutely fabulous guy, and I'm proud to call him a friend. So there you go. All right, let's gotta get this going here. Probably maybe here. Is that right? So I'm using a CD to create this circle here. Band called The Sea and Cake. I know that's a funny name for a band, right? But they're really good. Let's see, that's gotta make sense. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna do it. We're going live. We're doing it. Okay. No Fat CD will play anymore. Don't worry about the black pills, buddy. You're fine. Time Traveler says, since you asked, I don't really listen to a lot of commentators anymore, aside from Yiz and Newsfist, because they're my friends. Oh, that's fantastic. Where is Newsfist from? He's Australian, I think, correct? But he lives in like London, I think. He's on not Dungeons and Dragons, Discordant Dragons a lot. Like I've been on the show with him a lot, and he's like a super well informed guy for sure, no doubt about it. Yeah, Yuza's got her own flavor. She's got her own brand. I don't. She's not like under Jason's shadow. Like she is her own person. She's her own. When I say brand, I don't mean that in like a weird negative sense of the word, but like, that when you go to a certain person's show, you know what you're gonna get. It's like Nick Fuentes' brand as opposed to say Survive the Jive or Handsome Truth or whatever. We were talking about Handsome Truth last night, and people were like, he's Jewish, and an insider that I know told me that a long time ago, but I have such a conflict with it because I'm like, the dude is doing more to enlighten people to the JQ than like so many others. He runs Goyim TV, and I think some people could say, oh well, it's a honeypot, he's not a honeypot, lightning rod. Do you guys know that term? It's like he creates, well, it's an intelligence term for someone who attracts potentially dangerous people. So let's say Mullah Abdul Mohammed, fuck the goats in Minnesota. He preaches radical Sharia law and like take down the government type Islam, that brand of Islam. Then he might not do any crimes himself, but he is a lightning rod for people who would. So they're going to let him, talk as much as they're going to make sure that his YouTube channel doesn't go down because they're keeping an eye on his followers. You see what I'm saying? So is that what Handsome Truth is? Is he something like that? Where, do you get my point? I think you get my point. It's not that hard to understand. Or is that just paranoia? You know what I mean? Is that just paranoia? But yeah, I mean, it's like when you the very, very rare case of Jews who are anti-Zionist and anti-Jewish hegemony, you gotta give them some kind of credit, man. I mean, I'm wondering if maybe these people are smart enough to see that, like, if I don't try to stop, the Jew world order, then there's going to be hell to pay down the road. Maybe they know that. Maybe they're trying to save their own people by stopping them. Does that make sense? It's kind of a wild idea. Okay. There we go. So, moving on. Let's read. HypocraticO says, Donald James Maudsley is a priest that likes Nick except for the foul language. I've probably seen him, because we probably are on the same algorithm. So I don't write down the names of every single person out there, but I recognize them, I feel as if like I should, like if I'm a guy out here doing shows and stuff and people are just going to be randomly dropping names, I should know who they're talking about. Richard says he is the new President Kennedy. Yes. Matt W. says 1/4 mestizo. baby that has no life experience shits on working class and probably popped up by shadowy mofos. Sounds about right. Okay, I get it. You don't have to like them. Victorian says, our stuff has to break into politics. The pressure is too intense. The house of cards is crumbling. Yes, true. Matt says, Nick has too much irony to be genuine for me. Call me a boomer, but I get no good vibes from the little shit. When's the last time you watched him? Because he has changed. He's not the snotty 18-year-old that he used to be. I would say maybe start looking at his most recent content. Thanks, brother. Feeling is mutual. God bless you, sir. And God bless Ireland. Long live Ireland. Matt W. My gut instinct is always right about people. HT Handsome Truth is a grabbler. Yeah. Oh my. Well. I know. When I met Yiz in person, we were instantly friends. She's just one of those people. I getcha. Matt, he's changed. Interesting. Well, when someone comes to your door and tries to kill you with a gun, and they just killed your neighbor, then those things kind of change people. You know what I'm trying to say? There's, some shit is going down. Shit is really going down. Should I work on the God Emperor? I don't know, maybe a little bit. I'm getting kind of tired. A long day. It's getting around 9:30ish. Go work on this panel here. Whether or not it's beneficial in the long run, he's a tactic they use. It's a tactic they use. Yeah, I mean, the whole notion of how can the system ever end? Like it's the system is in total control. It's not gonna tear itself down. There has to be some kind of Hail Mary. There's got to be some kind of situation that is unforeseen, where suddenly, some kind of hidden variable pops up, and then people go, wow, I didn't see that coming. And then next thing you know, we're in power, or something, or we have leverage, I could maybe say. Certainly people like this are bringing excuse me, like Nick is really bringing a lot of awareness, and you got to realize that at some point Nick and his generation are going to be in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, and by that time shit's going to hit the fan for real. It can't sustain. It cannot sustain. I don't know. It's this. I think there's a lot you guys already know that I don't really need to tell you, sort of. But yesterday, I was saying, I was introducing this new phrase that I coined, Zog Fatigue. And for example, I was listening to conservative radio today. And in my town, there's a very popular guy who's been around forever as the big conservative radio guy, And all the boomers listen to him and they call in on his show, and he's beloved, And he's talking about, in 2030, we all have to switch over to electric heaters, and let's talk about it. If you gotta get rid of your heater and go electric and blah 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 blah, and all of it's tied into social credit score and certain forms of technology that is more about surveillance and that kind of shit. And it turns out I found out not long ago that guy's Jewish, and he comes off as like Mr. Trump patriot guy, like just another white guy, like just like you, just like me, I'm just like you. And then to know like what he's propagating on his platform and how he pretends to be like one of us is absolutely insidious. It's to see the real truth of it in real fucking time. It's like so dark, it's so disturbing. And you try to, it's like if I were to try to tell people straight out of the gate, they'd be like, well, first off, I don't know if I believe you. And then there's that whole faggotry of like, well, show me the proof. Yeah, I don't. Even if you show them the proof, they've already made up their mind. They're not going to change. You know what I mean? Because they're just chronically locked into some kind of like comfort zone of, this is who I am. And it's really not much different than like being, this is my favorite football team kind of thing. And there's nothing you can do. You just sit there and listen to it, and watch it happen. And but the only good news is that like this generation, and this is so diabolical. I don't have any disrespect for like boomers or the older. I don't want them to die off. I'm not saying that, but the fact is that when they're gone, the narrative control will go with them. Do you understand? And I know a lot of you guys probably have thought through that stuff already, but there it is. Boy, that's a pretty handsome Donald right here that I just illustrated. Wow, what do you know? What do you know? All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Nice. Let's see. Hopefully he's changed, but calling a man a homosexual for being married, having kids, something. Yeah, that shit is. Oh, hey, Ulfric is here. Shotokan Donarudo-san. Hey. No, I strongly agree with you. Like, I hate when Fuentes says stupid shit like that. I know that he's speaking in a kind of. Sort of a filter for his generation. Like they first of all, they use the word gay to mean bad. That's not literally gay. It's just that's how they use the word. Oh, like smoking cigarettes is gay, or like doing drugs is gay. That's how they talk. And I don't know. Some of the shit is just like, dude, you're destroying your brand. Like why would you say that? Like you're fucking up bad. Why the hell would you say that? But I don't know. I'm not Nick Fuentes, so what can I tell you? I don't even know. Hermes is a good YouTube channel. He's waking up normies with street interviews. Fantastic. Every single time. Yeah. Let me read. Wow. It's 2:36 in Ireland. Oh, dude, how can you stay up so late? Oh, Lord. Let's see. Tucker said, oh, sorry. HypocraticO says, I'm trying to figure out why Tucker said easily verifiable lies about his father and his knowledge of his father's spook career. So yeah, Fuentes is all over that. That's been a big thing. I guess Tucker went after Fuentes, and it's really annoying to watch Tucker flip-flop. He'll be like, so, why do we send all that money to Israel? And then like he'll turn around and be like, oh, I know nothing about this thing, or I don't care if America's brown, or just dumbass shit like that. He's frankly he's a coward. Okay, let's just be honest. He's a coward. You can ask questions that are like, ooh, but when you have to get to the real meat, where it's like the mice and the men, the wheat from the chaff, he's failing. You know what I'm saying? And Fuentes is winning. So, but yeah, I don't like that juvenile shit. That's annoying. That's why I didn't like him to begin with, and like I wouldn't watch him. You know, and then I don't know, this, that, and the other thing happened, and I started paying attention. And as soon as he got on Candace Owens' show, then I knew, oh shit, something's going on, and now I'm like pretty much locked in. He's very important, you know, what, like it or not. He's very, very important right now. So that's what's going down. All right. Excuse me. I stay up to this time just to watch Kent. Dude, don't. That's. I feel bad, dude. Like, come on, man. That's a lot. I'm not that important. I'm not that like. I appreciate that you watch my show. I just don't want you to hurt yourself. You know, like get some sleep, bro. You know what I mean? I wish I could be there with you watching my show with like a Jameson or a Guinness. That would be freaking awesome. We should try to do that one of these days. Anyway, Matt W says Hermes is, I read that every single time. Noise, Shotokan Don. See my new post, see my now post about the Twin Towers and Bishop Richard. Oh, okay. In biology, we call it aggressive mimicry. There's lots of predators in nature disguise themselves. Indeed. Ulfric says agree for the most part. Averall seems like a good role model. Ulfric, by the way, and HypocraticO, Averall and I have exchanged phone numbers now. So we're going to do like a phone conference on this show. And I think I mentioned it earlier. I'm trying to set up some kind of system whereby artists, including myself, will organize to promote Return to the Land. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what I've got planned. But I'm just putting that out there. Agree for the most part. Avril is glad to hear you're doing a stream with him on Monday and at 6 or 7 this coming Monday. Matt says, I don't mind his generation, but the whole irony all the time is weak to me, shows fear. I don't disagree with you, Matt. Richard says, Nick fairly exposed the two of them on his podcast. Ulfric agreed. I've been calling him Tuck the Cock. Yes, well done. Victorian, there's a species of spider that mimics the appearance of a female of a certain fly. Wow. So these flies will come to the spider thinking, yes. They must be trans spiders. Anyway, Matt W. Yeah, to be fair, I love Zoomers and I hate old Gen X and Boomers like Tucker. Splattercat says it's because Tucker's trying to feel out the zeitgeist and he's confused by the direction it's going. I'm mocking his laughter. You know how he has this real high laugh, this high-pitched laugh. So he says conflicting things. It must suck to be a slave to the grift. Dude. Oh, man. You just got like I'll give you 1,000 points for that take. That was a good hot take right there, bro. So well done. You can see that. Like, I feel like he knows, but he can't say. Or he's trying to like publicly navigate the situation and figure out where is a safe place to land. You know what I mean? There is no safe place to land, brother. Welcome to the movement. Averall did prawn the mother of his kids. What is prawn? It's on the web forever. Porn? I hope this project succeeds minus that grave past because I'm not even going to go there. So Averall said he went to Nick's conference to present Return to the Land ideas, and Nick wasn't enthusiastic, so they had a falling out. That's gone. That's over. They've reunited or whatever. So because you need to see the new interview. Nick and Avril did an interview, and not only that, but Avril is trying to connect Nick to Patriot Front, whom apparently he had some falling out with as well, and that looks like it's coming together. We'll see. I'll probably find out when I talk to Avril by phone. Nick wasn't enthusiastic. It's odd that a guy in his 30s is going to Nick in his 20s for support. So I don't look at it like an age thing. I look at it more like who's where on the chessboard. Does that make sense? Matt says, I guess hate is a strong word. I hate the weakness, not the person, unless they never change. I can vibe with that. So, guys, I'm tired. A long day, and I can't keep up with you. And it's not even 2:30 in the morning. Man, Richard, thank you so much. It's really, really... I feel kind of bad. I feel like, you should just watch the replay or something. You can just, contact me directly. Anyway, I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful to all of you, and thank you so much. So, yeah, a lot of big stuff coming down the pipeline here. I've got that. This book is going to be coming out this year. Starting a show with Mark Brahman. I'm actually talking about doing another show with someone from Nordic Front, but that is not locked in, so it's not set or not. I don't know if that'll happen or not. But anyway, that's it, gang. You guys have a great night. I think I am gonna start decompressing. Have a good night. Honestly, man, if this is the end of the world, I've got the best friends to share it with, and I mean it. I think you guys are incredible. I love you guys. Ulfric, quick thing, people don't even grow up. That's true. You're growing up. You do dumb things when you're young. So keep talking. Yeah, Nick he'll mature. Yeah. All right. Good night, gang. See you on the internets.